Hello sports fans, welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report. I'm Rick Heath, and with me today, Jeremy Thurman, a fellow enthusiast for the Thunder basketball, taking Mark's place today. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
Thank you for having me.
For coming in and being part of the show today. So it's kind of a fan-centric, show today.
Okay.
You and I both are fans of the Thunder and fans of NBA basketball, and we'll give our fan-centric look here about what's going on. And it's a good day to be a Thunder fan after the Thunder win the first game against Minnesota by 26 points. Kind of a different first half to second half, Jeremy.
Oh, absolutely. We were down 4 points at first half, only scored 40 points in the first half, and then bam, we turned it on the second half, went small, and it was over midway through the fourth.
And that was amazing to me because after watching the first half, I thought, well, this is going to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
And I expected that going in because I respect Minnesota and the players that they have. And I thought, well, they've had a time to rest. They've had all the time to prepare for the Thunder. Let's see, it's going to be a tough matchup. Well, like you said, then come out in the second half, things changed on that. So we'll have to figure out what's going to change, how they're going to react, how the Thunder react. Yeah. And I want to take a moment here and let you know, viewers, that we taped beforehand. And so we taped after the first game, and this will air Saturday, of course, and so there'll be another game, but we're going to project what we think is going to happen with this game on Thursday, Saturday, and on from there, as well as the Knicks and Pacers. So it is going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the way in the Thunder and Minnesota matchups, and also the Knicks and Pacers. So we'll talk more about that when we get back. We are at the 240 and Western Garage here in Oklahoma City, where it is Rad Hour every day from 11 to 6, where you have mixed drinks and beer specials every day. Plus, the burgers and the french fries have been named the best in the city by 405 magazine. So go by any garage around near you, Garage Burgers and Beers, and find out the best fries and burgers in Oklahoma City.
Experience the Trails Golf Club, Norman's premier private club. Play our beautiful 18-hole championship course with practice facilities, Bermuda fairways, and well-maintained bent grass putting surfaces. Our members enjoy social events and activities for the whole family, including active men's and women's golf associations and junior golf programs. Shop major brands like Titleist, Ping, Callaway, and FootJoy in our pro shop. Become a member of Norman's best golf club today. The Trails, where members become family.
Reveal the skin you've always wanted with Morpheus 8 at the new Laser Light. Combining the power of microneedling and radio frequency, Morpheus 8 stimulates collagen production to tighten, smooth, and contour your skin. It's a non-surgical solution for scars, wrinkles, and other blemishes, perfect for your face, neck, and body. Experience youthful, radiant skin with minimal downtime. Schedule your consultation today at the new Laser Light and discover a new you with Morpheus 8.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites. Morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report. Jeremy Thurman, Rick Heath here from the garage on I-240, where you can get rad hours from 11 to 6 every day at the garage. Now, Jeremy, before we get talking directly about the game, I have to kind of get something off my chest. The Nuggets Thunder series was filled with back and forth.
Yeah.
And the podcasters and the fans of Oklahoma City really disappointed me in what they were doing. And even last night, in that when the Thunder weren't doing well, it was all doom and gloom. And, oh, these guys can't beat anybody. They shouldn't. I don't know how they won all these games. You know, and that's just, you know, that's a fan reaction going way overboard.
Absolutely. You have two things. You have national media, national writers that really haven't watched the Thunder very much, right? They don't know that we go on these spurts, these just devastating runs. And then you always have, I think, the newer fan. This success is new with this generation of Thunder, and so it's easier to prepare yourself for the doom and gloom than it is for what could be coming. And so, as my daughters always say, try to speak good into existence, right? So during the game, cheer and all that. But yeah, you look on Twitter, or X, I'm sorry, and listen to podcasters. They're trying to find reasons why the Thunder should not win as a 68-win team, instead of looking to what they are, which is an elite team.
Yeah, what they have done.
And they've continued it through the playoffs. Their defense has actually transcended better in the playoffs than it even was in the regular season, and we're just ignoring those factors and focusing on these little negativity, these little pinpoints.
Little spurts, little spurts where they don't look so good. Like,
absolutely.
You know, there was a time against the Nuggets, and there was a gentleman that I follow on X, and he said, we got to take Shea out. And I went, wait a minute. Let's don't get carried away.
Yeah.
We're talking about the MVP, the presumptive MVP of the game, the leading scorer in the NBA. Correct. And because he's had a bad quarter, we got to sit him? Come on, guys. I mean, that's crazy. And then, like last night when in the game, a guy that I follow came out with the pronouncement that with 5 minutes gone in the game, 5 minutes into the game, this guy came out with the pronouncement that, J-Dub does not have it tonight. He's not ready for the big time. And I just went, really? You can tell that from 5 minutes worth of the game. And the guy had the audacity to go, yeah, he doesn't have it tonight. And so I took the time to, after the third quarter had happened and the Thunder were up, I said, now, do you want to rescind that? Do you want to go back and revisit that? Or do you want us to go ahead and take that as the gospel from you? So that's the one thing about, you know, the local media, local podcasters. Jeremy, you follow them, I follow them. They get a little crazy, and I'm just wondering, you know, what is it going to take for them to realize, as you said earlier, it's a 68-win team, and it is added on to what we're doing here in the finals.
I think part of we have so many built-in excuses if we don't win, such as our age, our inexperience, all these things that historically,
the youngest team.
Yes, NBA teams need to have. And so I think we're just trying to grasp at that narrative because we're doing something as a team, the Thunder are, that has not been done. And when you're doing something that's never been done, I think it's easy for the detractors and those out there to come in and say, well, this is not good, this is not good. But a lot of it, too, is you have to watch the Thunder play. You have to know that a 10-point lead is nothing to the Thunder, really even either direction. They can explode offensively. They can feast off the defensive end and the transition buckets. And last night, you're talking about the doom and gloom for J-Dub in the first 5 minutes. Look at Shea. He was 2 for 13 at halftime last night. And what did he do the second half? He was just incredible, right?
Yeah,
and
he took over and did what Shea does.
It's what Shea does. And so this idea in the NBA of taking these little snippets during the game and trying to take it through the whole game, it just doesn't work in today's game. These guys, they may not have a good first quarter. They may have not even a good second quarter, and then bam, they have 30 points in the second half.
Well, here's the thing they always, these guys want to be the first to say something. Yes. They want to be the first to do it so that they can go, hey, I told you. You know, and this guy comes out with 5 minutes, well, J-Dub doesn't have it. I'm sorry, you can't really tell how well a player is going to play through the first 5 minutes. Now, you know, that's out. The other thing is, and we'll talk about this more when we get to it, is how ESPN drives the narrative.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's the part that I'm getting really, really tired of, because they have a narrative that they want to drive about the Thunder, and no amount of contravening information is going to get them off that. Hey, we are at the Garage. Jeremy Thurman and Rick Keith here on the Oklahoma Sports Report. We are at the Garage on I-240 and Western, where you got to come by and try the burgers and the fries, the best in the city, according to 405 magazine. So come by, and also Rad Hour from 11 to 6. You can come by and get specials on cocktails and different kinds of beers here at the garage. We'll be right back after this.
Reveal the skin you've always wanted with Morpheus 8 at the new Laser Light. Combining the power of microneedling and radio frequency, Morpheus 8 stimulates collagen production to tighten, smooth, and contour your skin. It's a non-surgical solution for scars, wrinkles, and other blemishes, perfect for your face, neck, and body. Experience youthful, radiant skin with minimal downtime. Schedule your consultation today at the new Laser Light and discover a new you with Morpheus 8.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Experience the Trails Golf Club, Norman's premier private club. Play our beautiful 18-hole championship course with practice facilities, Bermuda fairways, and well-maintained bent grass putting surfaces. Our members enjoy social events and activities for the whole family, including active men's and women's golf associations and junior golf programs. Shop major brands like Titleist, Ping, Callaway, and FootJoy in our pro shop. Become a member of Norman's best golf club today, The Trails, where members become family.
And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report. Jeremy Thurman, Rick Heath from the garage on I-240 and Western. One last thing about ESPN, the reason why I don't like ESPN is because it's scripted, okay? Now, you watch TNT, and you got Kenny and Chuck and Shaq. They're not scripted.
No, they're calling ball.
They just, whatever is in their mind, they're talking about, and they have a great depth of knowledge. Well, ESPN can't handle that, so they have to script.
Yes.
And they got Stephen A. Screamer at one end, and they got Bob Meyer, who's absolutely clueless about anything other than
other than Golden State, right?
Yeah, other than Golden State. And then you got Perk, and Perk, sometimes he has to say things he doesn't really believe because that's a script they've given him.
Absolutely.
Now, he's come around during the Thunder because he knows about as much about the Thunder as anybody on national TV. So you got to listen a little bit more to him. But Stephen A. Smith is just a screamer. He just wants to be a shock jock. Bob Myers has no clue. So how do they drive the national narrative in a way that's not conducive to an understanding of how the Thunder play?
Absolutely. I had a friend call me the other night about that exact issue, and he made a good point. He's like, they have not watched the Thunder all year. They have not watched the Thunder all year. And then on top of it, with ESPN and others, it's about eyeballs on the screen, size of market. So yeah, I kind of felt during the series with Denver especially, they were really pushing the Jokic narrative and everything else, and the equity in how they were viewing Jokic and Shea and the Thunder and the Nuggets, it just wasn't there. Bob Meyer in particular on calls, he can frustrates me a lot. I don't even want to get into that, right? We'll get back to my KD scars. But the reality is that, it's about fans in the seat, or fans on the viewership for them, and these narratives they're driving are not often informed. I miss the Zach Lowe's, for example, those intelligent people that ESPN
actually
had.
Cover the right way.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go back to the game. First half, kind of disappointing for the Thunder. They didn't quite. They weren't hitting their shots. Shea, as you mentioned earlier, Shea was 2 of 13, 11 points. He wasn't playing well. Dub didn't start out great. I do admit that. And so they were feeling their way around. The good news was Minnesota wasn't playing great either because of the Thunder defense.
Correct.
And so it kept it 48-44, 4 points. And as you said, I felt pretty good about the Thunder's opportunity to take control in the second half, and that's what they did.
Yeah. I was talking to my buddy at halftime. I feel like we should be down 10, 15 points, not 4. And I was like, we're going to win this. And you could see it coming. You could see they didn't play well. You could see they were not shooting well. They were missing a lot of layups, a lot of close-in shots that they normally get. And then you started to see them playing Gobert off the court. And that mid-range just kept opening up and opening up and opening up. And then, sure enough, the second half, we just kept ourselves in range. But that's why the Thunder's baseline is so high, because of that elite defense. They can have a half like that first half and still be within 4 points, and most teams are going to be down 15 points at that point, the way they were shooting and playing offensively.
Yeah, and the defense kept them in it.
Yeah.
And then the defense changed it completely around in the second half.
Yeah.
And then just like they did in Game 7 against the Nuggets, they had that spurt that they're known for, where the defense comes up, they pressure them, they get stops, they get turnovers, they get steals, they get runouts and breakaways, and all of a sudden you look at it and the Thunder up 12.
Yeah.
And it's been 2 minutes worth of or less of game time, and they're just all of a sudden, boom, they've got control.
Absolutely.
And that's what happened last night.
Well, I was at the game in the second half. You can just see it. The TV doesn't show these things, right? You see Ant-Man, you see Anthony Edwards. He's getting worn out. He's getting frustrated. Gobert's mad. I mean, they're just in their head at times. I saw Anthony Edwards pass up shots toward the end of the shot clock. It was given over to Julius Randle and others. And then one of the biggest things that I just was amazing was J-Dub's defense. We talking about your friend, right? That first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There's two sides to the ball, right? Yeah. And that defense, J-Dub put on Randle that second half. He put the clamps on him. I don't think Randle took a single three-point shot the second half after going 5 for 6 the first half. And I just was amazing. And he was up in his grill, man. He was not letting him do anything.
I love the matchups, because the matchups were, they had Shea on
Conley, I believe.
Yeah, Conley. Yeah. Shea opened up on Conley, and then Dort was on
Edwards.
Yeah. I mean, so that right there took the guards out of play for Minnesota.
Well, that's what makes the Thunder so unique, and I think this is a really good matchup for us. Is Randle's not historically a three-point shooter, and just like kind of with Jokic, if you want to put a small guy, we'll let you back us down and dribble out the shot clock, right? But we can throw point of attack defender after point of attack to defender. Dort, I saw Dort last night. Then it was Caruso, and then it was Case and Wallace. And if you're Ant-Man, usually one team has one of those guys, right? It's just never ending. And by the fourth quarter, I just remember at the first of the fourth quarter, I looked over at my friend Dave, and I was like, he's tired. He doesn't want to shoot right now.
He doesn't want
any of this.
He doesn't want any of this.
And so, yeah.
As Perk says, he doesn't want this smoke.
No, he didn't.
He did not want that smoke. Hey, we are at the garage on I-240 and Western. Come by, because by the 405 magazine, the garage has the best burgers and fries in the city. Come by and have some with us here at the garage on Western. And welcome back. Final segment, Oklahoma Sports Report. Jeremy Thurman, Rick Heath from the garage on I-240 and Western. Don't forget Rad Hour or Rad Hours, where you can get drink specials, cocktails, and beers from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day at the garage. There's many garages around the metro area. Find one near you and come eat some of their great burgers and fries. Yeah. Jeremy, the matchups are unique in this because, Julius Randle, has never really been known as a winning player, but he's played really well this last part of the season.
Absolutely.
And in the first series. But he's not he's not a consistent type player.
Yeah.
Gobert is non-existent on offense.
Yep.
He's a defensive guy. And so, and McDaniels is basically, he surprised me last night when he hit his first couple shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he looked good.
Yeah.
And then he quit shooting.
Yeah.
And that surprised me. So those are the matchups. You've got McDaniels on Shea. Makes it tough because he's got length. But Shea gets, Shea's Shea.
Yeah.
He's going to get him in foul trouble. And then J-Dub, they didn't have anybody that could handle J-Dub on the move.
Yeah.
So, those are the matchups I think that favored the Thunder. Now, I do think as this series progresses, I think that Ant-Man will get his shots.
Yes.
He will start hitting some. I think Julius Randle may not continue as good as he's been.
I agree.
And then they're going to have to find some good shooting off the bench from Naz Reid or Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh, absolutely. Part of me is a couple of the matchups. I think number one, I was surprised Minnesota didn't run a lot of zone last night. I expect them to run a lot more zone, and maybe that can keep Gobert on the court more, because if you're going to put Gobert on a 1v1 type defense, they're going to put Chet out there. They're going to go small. They're not going to have another big in there. They're going to draw him out of the lane. And last night, you saw the lane just start opening up when that occurred, and Shea started getting those mid-range, and really in the second half. I do agree with you on Ant-Man and McDaniels, but I think the thing in this second game especially is we're going to need to we'll see more of the Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, more our role players shooting three-pointers more. And I think also defensively, Shea said it last night after the game, Chet is the ultimate rim protector, right? And I think he was playing off ball last night, and he was doing an incredible job protecting the rim, and that showed in the amount of three-pointers that Minnesota was taking. So I think one of the things Minnesota is going to have to adjust, and they're going to adjust to, is they're going to try to get the ball into the lane more. We'll see how that looks, but the Thunder, in the same vein, I think can expect to see Minnesota playing a lot more defense. So we're going to see Isaiah Joe. I was really glad to see him knock down a few. He knocked down a few at the very end of the Denver game as well. And so seeing that ball go through the hoop is a big thing. And then you get Aaron Wiggins out there, and we just get a hot shot. Yeah, Kendrick. Man, Kendrick. Well, that's the lead story. It should be almost.
That is, and the MVP of the Denver series, I thought, was, you could say Caruso to a certain extent, and he's coming out and playing Randall, tough too. So all of that helps. When you're going 9 and 10 deep like the Thunder do, it's tough on the other team. So you got Wiggs, you got Casey Wallace, you got Isaiah Joe, you got Kendrick that played. Those guys are all contributing, and it's tough for another team to hold everybody in place. So how many games do you think this will go?
The fan in me, I predicted 6 to start the series. I don't want to overreact and say 5 now, but I'll stick with 6.
I think so too. I think 6 will come. They'll win it in Minnesota. They won't have to come back and play Game 7.
That's right.
Okay, let's switch real quick. The New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers coming out. Knicks are favored slightly in this one. I don't happen to agree. I think the Pacers have a better team and are playing better right now. The Knicks were lucky to get through Boston, even though Boston got hurt. Your thoughts on the Knicks and Pacers?
By every metric, I feel like the Knicks have the better top-end players, and Karl-Anthony Towns and Brunson, but Indiana is a team. Rick Carlisle is an incredible coach. He's an incredible coach, and they have – that whole team's playing unselfish. You got Pascal Siakam, or however you pronounce his name. This guy's – he's an all-star. He's an all-star level player, but he is such a team player, and they're good defensively. They're long, they rebound, and I'll be interested to see what they do with Karl-Anthony Towns, if they can keep him off the three-point line. But I personally fully expect this series to go 7.
Well, the Pacers, to me, I'd love to see a Pacers Thunder finals because that would be a great game, because the Pacers they're 8 9 deep too.
They are,
and they have great guards that can play defense and can shoot. And so I think that they win, and I think it goes at least. It's 6. The reason why I don't think the Knicks win is because their main guy is Brunson. Okay, Karl-Anthony Towns is so mercurial. I mean, whether or not he can do it on a game-by-game basis. I think it goes 6, and I think the Pacers play, and so we're going to have a Pacers and Thunder finals.
That'd be fascinating, right?
That'd be a lot of fun.
Little Hoosiers and Thunder.
That's right. That's going to do it for this week's show. Jeremy, thank you so much for showing
up
and joining us today, and that's going to do it for the Oklahoma Sports Report today.